The next chapter of Detroit's rebirth must begin and end with education. We're going to talk to the experts about what we have to do right now to get to the future.
You're seeing what we're doing, where we've got something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime, but the Detroit Public Schools and the charters are working together for school children in Detroit. It's inspirational.
If you have opportunities for people, for businesses, for jobs, for nonprofits, for people to express who they are, through arts and anything else they want to do, I mean, that's what young people are looking for.
The intersection of education and opportunity, the big topics that the two most powerful men in Detroit discussed this morning over pancakes as they discussed politics and waffles too. Welcome back to RIP. You've already met Tanya Allen. With us now is a man who has one of the toughest but most rewarding jobs in the country. Dr. Ivery grew up in Dearborn Heights, earned degrees from Wake Forest and Harvard, and now leads the new Detroit Public School Community District. Next to him, another longtime educator. He rose out of poverty in East Texas, earning several degrees. For more than 20 years, Dr. Curtis Ivery has led the Wayne County Community College District, serving more than 70,000 students across 6 campuses. Of course, you've already met Charlie Langton. So, Dr. Ivery, let's begin with you. I heard Dan Gilbert say today that I've got hundreds of jobs. I'm building a new tower in downtown Detroit. I'm expanding my core businesses. I've got these jobs, but I don't necessarily have the people to fill them. So how is Detroit, the public school system, going to educate kids for the opportunities that are there?
I think our role is to be multifaceted with opportunities and create a springboard to either college or the world of work. And I think we're starting to do that. Our vision going into fall is that every high school has an accelerated program. Either that's dual enrollment, which we're going to expand with WC3, early college programs, advanced placement courses, international baccalaureate, but also career-ready opportunities. So Randolph is probably the best example of that right now. Heavy business investment and partnership, and we now are almost at capacity at Randolph, and just a couple of years ago we couldn't even fill seats. So that in that school we're offering plumbing opportunities, carpentry, welding. So at the end of the day, our role is to diversify opportunities because our children's talents are diverse and their interests are diverse, but we should never pigeonhole children's opportunities and look at children as widgets. It's really about offering an expansive, diverse array of opportunities and let children pick what is most interesting to them, but also allow that to grow and progress over time so they don't feel pigeonholed in a particular pathway when it comes to career or college.
But Dr. Ivery, I wonder though if the culture has changed so much that we can't do what my father told me when I was young. Oh, just go on out, get your college degree, do whatever you want to do. You can't do that anymore because the opportunities are now limited. The way that you can make a living is now limited in terms of the jobs that are available. So if you're going to educate yourself, isn't it the correct thing to do to educate yourself according to where the jobs are?
Absolutely, and to the extent we know where the jobs are. What we do know is that 80% of the jobs out there will require some form of education, higher education. So it's going to require a kind of huge commitment and vision that Dr. Ivery has demonstrated early on. I think that I've been so impressed with his vision, and obviously he's really committed to moving and creating a culture of education within our community. And that's going to work. It's going to make it work. But it's about collaboration. It's about how we work together. It's about the synergy. The mayor has articulated a really neat vision for moving forward, giving all of us an opportunity to work together and get it done. But all this stuff has happened here at a very interesting time. It's almost a perfect storm. Coming out of bankruptcy, being in a community when the automobile industry was very powerful and people were able to go into the factories and make a lot of money and do extremely well. But now there's been a paradigm shift, and it's a whole different place, and we've got to figure out how to navigate the waters.
Well, we heard Tanya, the mayor, talk about the collaboration of charter and public schools in the effort to educate our kids. Where does the Skillman Foundation fit in that formula?
Right. So it reminds me of this African proverb which says basically when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. And so basically what we saw in our city for a really long time is that we had the charter system and the traditional public system fighting for the students that were in our city. In the meantime, we have 27,000 who are leaving it. And so the mayor showed in his State of the City address a map of a school district that was coming in and taking the kids. And what I call that pickpocketing. So while we're not paying attention, we have others coming in and pickpocketing our kids, and we're not demonstrating and showing our families in Detroit that we have really high quality schools. We have some great programs. Now, we got some challenges, don't get me wrong. Let me tell you, I know we have problems and we need to fix those things. But that shouldn't be our narrative when we talk about our city. We need to talk about those things that are strong. We need to talk about those things that are good and that are going to be attractive to families. Our job in this city is to make it the most attractive city possible to raise children. And that's what the Skillman Foundation is committed to do.
I think success starts with education, but what I think we need to do is instill in students this graduation diploma. It means something, and you should be proud. I interviewed someone today who got a house, the first house. She was so proud, she had the deed. A piece of paper, that's all it was, but it represented something. We have to instill, when you cross that stage, after you graduate from high school and you get that diploma, put it on the wall, and it's gotta mean something. I hope that we can do that, and we have to do it more, not only in Detroit, but all over. And I think from there, we can be successful.
But the diplomas have to be more than just high school. Because here's the thing, which we don't talk about, is the regions who are doing the best in this country are the ones with the highest number of people who have post-secondary degrees and credentials. The more we have more people doing better, even people who don't have it, if they have a high school diploma, they get better wages. This is about our collective prosperity. We have to make sure that they're enrolling and graduating in Detroit Public Schools Community District, but we also have to make sure they're graduating from Wayne County Community College, and we have to spur innovation. So we need to talk about how we get people into jobs and how we prepare them for jobs, but I also want us to talk about how we create jobs. How do we make sure that these young people are entrepreneurs? How do we make sure that they create wealth? Because we know that people who create jobs, they tend to hire people that look just like them.
We just completed an economic impact study, and that study suggested that Wayne County students who attended Wayne County last year generated roughly $284 million in revenue. That's the impact that college has on the community. But beyond that, it's transforming and changing lives. It creates an enlightened society, community, and that's an important early step to having a great job and being active in the workforce.
A consultant by the name of Stephen Covey once had these words to say: begin with the end in mind. Mm-hmm. Start from where you know the opportunity is, then educate to the opportunity. And I understand, Dr. Vitti, you're concerned about making human beings and turning them into widgets. But by the same time, I wonder if we don't educate them so they get the jobs available, if we simply give them a diploma that is meaningless. I know people who have majored in some subject matters and are still under or unemployed completely because they were not majoring in the right subject matter for these times. I don't know. But look, we'll talk about that much more. Stay with us. You've heard what the panel had to say. Now it's your turn as Charlie takes the show on the road.
Mayor gave a State of the City speech this week. What do you think has to happen before Detroit will become a world-class city?
Well, they trying to get us together and get as much training in as possible.
A stronger focus on education.
All these black people to come together and love one another and stop doing all this killing and fighting.
We need to concentrate on education and training more.
You connect education with the community being able to be sprawled out along with the development of businesses. Continue to spur local business outside of just downtown.
As a returning citizen, What has Detroit done for you to get you to where you're at now?
Well, I'm in training school to better myself from where I was in the past.
They need to give Detroit a chance again because we're definitely getting people here who need chances and that's ready to work.
Well, as a returned citizen, I immediately got into the programs like Michigan Works, Southwest Solutions, Resource Network.
Are we making some progress?
I think we are. Feels like we're on the right track. I mean, we're running a business in Detroit and it's growing, so I think we're on the right track. We just got to keep it up.
Final comments. Dr. Beatty, let's begin with you.
So I would actually respectfully disagree. I think our children, our students, young people really value the high school diploma. The challenge is, where is that high school diploma taking them? And we have to own, as a public school system, creating that springboard, the college and the world of work with real programs that are something that you can feel, touch, experience, and linking those programs to internships so students can see what the world of work looks like while they're in high school and visit those college campuses or have the dual enrollment classes where they're getting college credit while they're in high school.
Dr. Ivery.
Yeah, I think there are barriers that and social constructs that we have to pay attention to. But I think the mayor said we had roughly 284 people in poverty in the city, and that means something. A lot of interesting things come out of a concentrated poverty, lack of transportation, lack of childcare. I mean, there are constructs that we've got to overcome, and we're working to do that.
Talent is distributed equally, but opportunity is not. And so our goal ought to be to make sure that every kid in the city of Detroit has access to opportunity. And then the second thing I would say is we don't know what the future holds for us. Technology is evolving every 18 months. So we have to make sure kids can do it all.
Absolutely. Panel, we thank you for your comments and insights.
Thank you.
We're just getting started on this road, but the future looks bright. No question about it. Thank you for watching this edition of Let It Rip.